everyone, my name is Tove. Welcome back to my channel, Tove Lovenitz. Welcome if you are new. It's end of March, sun is shining again. And we're gonna discuss my finished objects for March, my plans for Easter, and my new philosophy. All right, that was very dramatic, but hey, you're still here, aren't you? If you are the ones that doesn't know who I am, my name is Tove. I'm originally from Finland, but I live in the Netherlands with my husband and my 2 children. I'm mostly a knitter. I dabble with crochet and other crafts. In this podcast, we'll talk about what I'm up to on a semi 2-week basis. I will start with the finished objects for March, as I always do. And as you can see, I'm wearing one of them. This is my favorite finished objects for March, for sure, and probably the whole year so far. This is the Storn Away tee by Coco Amour. And I will have a look. I have showed it to you once before. I started it the 23rd of February and I finished it 15th of March. It's one of those potato chippy projects that I couldn't put down. Not only am I so proud of the outcome of it. I've worn it a couple of times already and I'm absolutely in love with it. I'm really proud of the yarn that I used. I used Baby Merino, Drops Baby Merino. And that was stash yarn. It was bits and pieces of all different colors. It was the leftover from my Battenberg blanket actually. That I crocheted and now I tried also to knit with it. Love the yarn. Will buy again. So not only am I proud of the way it looks, the yarn I used, but I am so happy with the pattern itself. It was a joy to knit. So as you can see, it's a drop shoulder format or style, and you start from the back. You do the front, you join together body, and then you do the sleeves. It's a potato chippy pattern because every other stripe is a colored stripe, and you know, I love myself some stripes. And every other stripe is this textured pattern in the white. I did some changes. The pattern calls for white ribbing, so the same as the main color. It calls for normal rib. I did a twisted rib, and as you can see, I did it in blue, also in the body. I did the length as long as I could with the yarn I had, but it turned out quite a good length. And I also lengthened the sleeves a little bit because that's just the way I like my knits or my tees. I blocked the hell out of it because this pattern with the garter ridges and the garter ridges together with the stockinette ridges or the stripes makes it like an accordion effect, so it really bunched itself up. So by blocking I really stretch it out and I got some good length to that. And it was really quick. I think at one point I really focused on it and I got it done. Like half of the tee took 2-3 days or something, and it was so that was really, really good. As you can see, I used a lot of colors. I used the colors I had in my stash. I didn't get gauge, so I actually went up to size 7, and I used 3.5mm needles, and the rib I actually doubled, I think, for the size. Altogether, it took me a little over 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and 265 grams of yarn. That was my first finished object for March. My second finished object is a project you've never seen before. It's funny. When I left February and I did like finish February and I really focused on my whips. One, because I had a lot of them and I wanted to get rid of them or like finish them. It was time. And also because I really didn't know what to start. Suddenly, I started this, I started 2 other projects, 3 other projects. So suddenly like this cast on mania started or happened within me. And I've now learned that if I don't know what to knit, I shouldn't be pressured by that. Give it a couple days, go on Ravelry, go on Instagram, and you'll find inspiration. That is exactly what happened. I saw a pattern in either my favorites or just by scrolling Ravelry that I felt that's the one. And that's the Audrey Junior jacket. Audrey Jacket Junior by Cheryl Mokhtari. And here it is. It is a junior jacket, as I said. So it's a little jacket, a spring jacket for my daughter. It is really for this season and nothing else, because I made it perfect to fit her and not a centimeter more. So that's might not be the cleverest. But I used yarn from my stash. This is a polyester boucle, really soft, like a teddy bear yarn in 2 colors, as you can see, white and pink. And the pattern itself is really, really simple in the construction. You basically make a square in the back, you pick up the front, and then you join in the body, and then you knit down, you knit the sleeves with a little bit of a sleeve cap, as you can see. And you finish off with another type of yarn. So you're not supposed to use the boucle for the finished trims. So that is an I-cord in the bottom of the body and the sleeve, and then a double knit neck band, what's it called? Button band, and then a I-cord in the top neck as well. And I used what is this yarn? I used a supermarket yarn. It is a house yarn from a store called Zaman. So the 2 yarns I used, it's called Cuddle, the boucle, or the boucle teddy is called Cuddle, and the white, also polyester yarn, same gauge, but not the fuzziness, is called Julia. It's bulky weight, as you can see maybe. The gauge was 12 stitches per 10 centimeters. I've never knit anything that big before. And I knitted it with 5mm needles. For my daughter, who is 2.5, I knit the size 1, which is not for 2.5-year-old. However, the length, because I had a lot bulkier yarn, I think it was, yeah. And then for the length, I picked the pattern size for size 3. So that's something I do tend to do from time to time, that if I don't get gauge on the width, I choose the one that gives me the circumference of my bust. And in this instance, I measured, of course, her, and then with ease, that made size 1. But then she's, of course, longer than a 6-month-old or a 1-year-old. So then I added the length of a size 3, which is a 3-year-old in this pattern. And the other thing I did, of course, as you can see, the pattern does not call for stripes, but I had 2 colors, and neither of the color was enough to make the whole cardigan or the jacket. So I added stripes, and that turned out really well. It wasn't at all difficult to just do. I cast on with the white, and then I did 4 stripes, and then every 4th stripe I changed the color. The sleeve cap I did completely. The German short rows in the sleeve cap I did completely in one color, as you can see, and that turned out really good as well. I'm very happy about that decision. The contrast or the difference between the trimmings and the boucle I really, really love. The button band came out really cool and really nice. And then I bought some buttons when I was in Amsterdam last week, and those were cute little flower pink buttons. During the process, she knew that I knitted for her, so she was like, oh, this is my knitting. And she was really happy with it, and she actually tried it on a couple of times during the process, so that was very helpful. At the moment, she tells me that it's her, and when I ask her, would you like to try it on? She goes, no. This is the reason it's really difficult to knit to kids, because, well, at least my kids thinks that it's not theirs, it's mine, because I make it, but it's for them, so they're really confused about this whole situation. So she hasn't actually tried it on yet, so I have no pictures of her trying this on completely. I hope in Easter we're gonna get to wear it outside and have some pictures, and that would be really good. I am anyway really happy that I made it, and if she's not gonna be able to enjoy it so long, someone else will definitely be able to. So that's the Audrey jacket, Audrey Junior jacket. Yay. That's right, great. My third and final finished object, it's not here. Hold on. Final finished object is the Feel the Heel sock. Here is one of them. I've been wearing them this morning, therefore they were not finished and they're not properly. There you go, that's the second one. 2 socks. Let's talk about this sock. I've shown it. I also have talked about the struggle I had with the first sock. It was good struggle. I learned a lot from it. Let me see. So I started these socks the 26th of February. I finished it 8th of March. So I've been wearing them for a bit, and they're really comfortable. I used 2.25 millimeter needle. I used Flora, Drops Flora on the top, which is not a nylon-based yarn, and then and then Drops Fabel or Fabel on the rest of the sock, which is a nylon-based yarn. I cast on 66 stitches, and then I followed the pattern from there. It has a rib in the leg, and then the first time I followed the pattern of my size, and that resulted in a very big heel. I show that to you. That was not going to work out. I don't know what that sort of construction was actually meant to do. So what I did was after the rib, I forked the heel, and after I was done with the ribbing, I decreased 2 decrease rounds, equals 8 stitches altogether decreased, during the first part of the heel. While I did the heel increases, I also did decreases on the sides, which just, okay, that's a little bit tricky, but that worked out fine. And as you can see, it's a little bit of a different heel. This is a feel the heel. It has some increases in the sort of back of the heel. Then you do some German short rows to get the heel itself. You do plain knitting, and then you decrease down to the foot. So you get this like whoop. It's a very good heel, I must say. I've not found a better heel than the Fish Lips Kiss heel. I think I found a better one now. This is a cute and cool construction. It is more knitting than the Fish Lips Kiss heel, and I don't have it sort of memorized yet, of course, but yeah, I like it, and it really fits well on my foot. After that, you don't have to really knit that much on the foot anymore because the heel carries into the foot quite a lot. The Fish Lips Kiss heel sort of just ends there and then you knit forward, but since you have the decreases here, you knit quite a lot on the foot already. So when the heel was done, I only did like 20 rounds of ribbing, and then 10 rounds normal, maybe 30 rounds normal, and then I did the toe from there. If you know me or heard me talk about socks, I usually do toe up. This time I didn't. I followed the recipe, but I must say I could potentially make the heel from the toe up as well. That would probably be something I would try next time because I enjoy the toe up process better. But now, I got myself 2 socks and I really love them. This Fabelle yarn, this striping colorwork yarn in itself, really cool. I didn't really think, like, I didn't know what it was about. When I bought the ball, I just liked sort of the colors, but it was really crazy in a really good way. I love the color combination, actually. Like the ribbing, it's something different. I'm gonna show some yarn that I bought intended for socks. Next time I make a sock, I think I'm gonna make something more structured or like with some cables or something happening instead of just a vanilla sock, which of course this wasn't. It was ribbing, but still it was vanilla-y enough for that. All in all, 61 grams. It was 50-gram ball for the feet, and then I had an extra double knit on the top, which actually is quite nice. The rib, of course, tends to grow after a while, and this just doesn't do anything, which I find the look of the sock itself nicer, and it fits really well on me. I'm very happy about that. Super! That was my 3rd finished object, and that's it for March. Today we are 26th of March. It's my sister's birthday. Happy birthday if you see this. And if you see this, let me know that you did see it. I don't think she is watching this. But yeah, those are the 3 finished objects. I will talk about whips. And in the meantime, some acquisitions, because I went to Amsterdam last week. I went to Amsterdam with my friend to go to see a musical called Six, about Henry VIII, Sixth Wife. Really good, super. It was in Amsterdam just for 1 week, and I'm super happy that I went. And before we went to the musical, we went to dinner, and before we went to dinner, we went to coffee, and before we went to coffee, we went, of course, to yarn stores. I went to 2 yarn stores, and the main event, of course, was Stephen and Penelope. I'm gonna show the yarn that I bought from there. Really cool store, completely out of my budget, of course. So unfortunately, I couldn't buy like the half of the store, which I wanted to, but really fun, great people. Yeah, it was a great day. Anyway, I have my oldest whip. Let's talk about my oldest whip. I worked on it a little bit this morning, but I haven't given it so much love this March. I have focused on other things. And my new philosophy, let's just talk about the philosophy here, don't make a cliffhanger out of it, is that I tend to work from oldest to newest. I tend to do a lot of checklists to get going and, you know, have progress in my process or my projects. But this week, this month, I have gone, fuck it, I'm gonna just knit on what I want to knit every single time or every single day. And that has given me a little bit of a different result. Meaning that my oldest whip, which is the Citrine Light, haven't gone forward a lot. You can see I'm sort of halfway down the body. And when I talked to you last, I think I started the body. I finished the sleeves, if I didn't speak about that. For sure I finished the sleeves. I did parallel knitting on the sleeves, which was very successful, I must say. The sleeves are finished off with Italian bind off, no other rib than the rib itself, which is actually the first time I do that kind of look, and it looks perfect, looks really good. And then I am going down onto the body. I'm doing a lot of increases on the body because, as usual, I don't love that much ease in the body itself, although I find it really nice on the top. And so therefore I'm actually doing quite a lot of increases or decreases. I decrease every 5 rows at the moment. As you can see, just here, just in front of the first rib. Can you see that? Yeah, those are the tick pearl. Not pearl, but like bumps from the decrease. And I hope that's going to become like a little nicer silhouette, a little bit tighter on my way down. I also am seriously considering how and what I bought for yarn. That's not English. I'm sorry. Let me try that again. I'm doing yarn chicken. Why am I always doing yarn chicken? I'm such a cheap shot. Anyway, so I'm halfway down the body. Now, yes, I'm done with the sleeves, so it's not that much knitting left, but I only have 100 grams left. 2 balls. Oh, wish me luck. I also have not worked so much on my tote, so I won't show that, but it's progressing-ish. But let's talk about the new whips in March. Now, the friend that I went to Amsterdam with is a new knitter, or a rediscovering knitting again situation. So she did a Sophie scarf. Great. And now she went on to her first t-shirt. I suggested the Tolster tee, which is a great basic pattern. I recommend that for everyone. It's a great pattern. You can do so many variations on it, and you can really like make it your own for any certain type of yarn or anything like that. I decided that when she started a Tolster tee, I might as well do a Tolster tee as well, just to sort of like move along with her to help her out and show the techniques on actual garment. So I dug up some stash yarn, and as you know or don't know, anyway, one of the goals this year is really to knit my stash away below 10,000 grams. That's number one. So knit stash yarn. Today I'm going to talk about all my acquisitions. So this month I bought a lot of yarn, but okay, that's fine. Because the second goal is to balance my stash a little bit better when it comes to the yarn, the types of yarn. For 2 years now, my stash has been 50% non-natural yarn or mixes, and 50% cotton and wool. I want that to reduce the polyester and the acryl and increase the natural fibers. So you've seen a lot of acryl yarn. The boucle was acryl or polyester. I got away my big chunky blanket yarns and so on. So the next yarn that I had picked out was this Allison and May color self-striping, it's called, polyester yarn, color bundle it's called. Here you go. So this is 142 grams, gives 400 meters, so it's like DK-ish, a little bit little bit more than DK. And it's 100% polyester. The colors are fun. That's why I picked them. I also have never knit a garment in polyester yarn. So I also, as a experiment, I also wanted to see how that went and how that felt. It's an okay polyester when it comes to sort of softness. It's not, of course, it's polyester, so you can like, it's squeaky, but it's okay. And as I said, I chose it for the colors to get sort of the striped effect of that. I tried follow along with her, but of course I shot ahead a little bit. And here it is so far. Really fun spring colors. Tolsta T is a pattern from Creabea. And it's basically a raglan tee, nothing more, nothing less, but yeah. I made before a Tolsta tee in, it was 2 years ago maybe. And I did a variation of one of her test knitters that had a bunch of eyelets, stripes basically on the body and on the sleeves. And I really enjoyed that one. This is just plain because I wanted sort of the yarn to speak for itself and the colors to speak for itself. I chose to start with a dark blue cast on going into the light blue, and I did the neckband intentionally wide because I wanted to knit up the whole blue color to have like a nice neckline. Then the German short rows I did in really only the yellow. So you can see that the German short rows on the back gives a higher effect from on the back, making the neck fall forward, which is very nice on your body. And from there I started the raglan pattern. I have 2 of those, and I've done some calculations and I've done some sort of mathing with this. Matching. And I think that I will get to do almost two exact color, sort of 2 rounds of the color repeat, I think. And my plan is to end up with the blue as a hem, and then finally just 1 stripe of blue, dark blue, because I have an extra dark blue over here that I took from the starting of the first ball. The same hopefully is going to go with the sleeves, although I'm not going to be able to do the same color repeat. I'm going to do sort of backwards from here. That's how the colors ended up when I hooked up the second color. So I think I'm going to do a little bit of orange, a little bit of yellow, and then end up with blue. Let's see how that goes, but that's how I think I've calculated that the colors will match themselves. Yeah, so that's basically it. I have, as you can see, the whole second ball. I haven't started yet, so that's the plan for this weekend. The Tolsta tee. Let's move on. A pattern I saw on Instagram a couple of days ago, or a week ago or so, was I think it's a new pattern. I haven't actually checked that, but it was actually, well, at least it was new for me. It was a new t-shirt pattern from Wool and Pine. And if you remember, I made a cardigan from Wool and Pine during Christmas. They write great patterns, although it's only in inches, the patterns. So it's very Americanized, which the rest of the world doesn't do inches. I mean, I think it should be a standard that patterns are written in both centimeters and inches, but no, it's called the Cloud Break Tee. I started this project 20th of March, so 6 days ago. Knowing that, I now realized that I have done a lot of knitting in 6 days on this t-shirt. I'm using a yarn that I bought in Amsterdam, Isager baby yarn, a Peruvian yarn. This is a very special yarn, or a very weird yarn, for me at least. It's 68 baby alpaca and 32 organic cotton. So, my t-shirts tend to be a mix, always, of cotton or any other plant-based fiber, together with wool, together with, well, whatever you can mix things with. Because t-shirts for me is summer wear. I don't want it to be too heavy. I don't want it to be too woolly, of course, too warm. So a mix with cotton or other silk materials or whatever, linen, is really good. This is a yarn that I've never really seen before. I don't know if you can see. It's braided. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. It's braided. That makes it very plump and very light, although it's DK. Okay, now I'm knitting size 4, which is quite normal for me. I'm using 4.5mm needle with a 3.75mm neckline, if someone's writing this down. I am doubling the neckline because I'm wanting a little bit more depth, and I'm lengthening the sleeves. That's sort of where I am on the construction parts. And now I'm going to show you how far I've gotten. Haha! Woohoo! Okay. It's a saddle shoulder, which is nice for a change. It's a, as I said, a little bit longer sleeve than what the pattern is calling for. A little bit longer hem, because I like that look. I have gone from starting in the back. No, actually you start from, well, you start here in the back, so you add shoulders plus back, and then you start increasing quite rapidly, and you're creating the shoulder effect, saddle shoulder effect, until you get to the point where you can join in the round. It's quite a, like a middle big neckline. As soon as I was done with the first 50-gram ball, I made the neck, the hem, and the rib there, just to have sort of a look to see where we're going with the size, with the shape, and it's all really good. I also decided to do one sleeve just to see how I do there, and then I left the other sleeve for when I'm sort of bored from the body. I am almost coming to an end of my 3rd ball. Is that correct? I don't know. So once that's done, I think I'm going to do the sleeve. The fun thing with this pattern is, as you can see here, it has these lace, almost ruffles on the back, on the bottom of the body. So although I am on the body for the other t-shirt, the body on the citrine light, this body, and the body from this one as well, this body at least has something else to sort of give other than stockinette, which is a little bit more fun than anything else. Now, it looks really gray on the camera, but it looks really gray, but it's quite pastel-y green. I'm really enjoying the color. And the feel of this, it's hard to explain. It's like cotton candy. Is that? It's really, like, it's thick, it's plumpy, as I thought it was gonna be, really light, and really soft. That's all the baby alpaca, really, really soft. I cannot wait to finish this and wear it in Easter, for example. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. Very happy with everything in it, actually. So that probably is why I've been knitting so much and so fast with it, because once you start to doubt and you have to sort of stop and think about things, of course things get takes longer, and for me this was just been straightforward. Very good. 4.5 millimeter needle makes also, of course, things go faster than smaller needles. So that was my first acquisition of wool with a new whip. This is the second acquisition of wool. I didn't buy it from Amsterdam. I bought it from Hobby a couple weeks ago. That is Highland wool, DK. No, it's not a DK. It's like a sport weight yarn. Yeah, correct. 50 grams gives 175 meters. It's class 3. I chose a really nice burgundy color. I absolutely love this color, and I think it also suits me quite well. Now, what am I making with it? Because yes, I've cast this on. Okay. I'm gonna now tell you guys a very sad story. It's a thing that happened, and I haven't talked about it with anyone yet, other than my closest people. It's really sad, and I'm of course over dramatic with this whole situation. That is that I can't even blame anyone else. I put my favorite sweater, the Traveler hoodie, in a normal 40-degree wash, thinking that it wouldn't felt, it wouldn't shrink, it wouldn't be any problem with it. It felt it. It shrunk. It's a big problem. It's almost standing up by itself, but here it is, shrunk, felted. You can see it's it's really, really stiff. Horrible. Traveler hoodie by Angela Mowry. I haven't been able to wear it this whole year because I felted it, I don't know, in January. First thing I did in January, I think I felted it. It's my favorite wear so far. Like it, until I felted it. It was my favorite sweater. It was my favorite knitwear. And I was so sad. I also really like the process of knitting it. So I guess that's then fine because I am knitting it again. So, goodbye, felted sweater. Hello, new sweater. I cast it on during my cast on mania a couple days ago, the 20th, same as the t-shirt. But I have focused on the t-shirt more than this. But anyway, here it is. Can you see? How nice? Whoever has knitted the Traveler hoodie before can now see that this has nothing, this doesn't look like how you start a Traveler hoodie at all. And that is because I am completely, again, for the second time, basically ripping this pattern in two. And I'm starting in the middle. You're supposed to start from the bottom hem. You go up, you do the top, you do the hoodie, and then you do the sleeves, and then you're done. The first time I did it, I tried doing the bottom up, but since this again has these like garter stitch stripes, it makes this accordion effect. Plus, I didn't understand, like I didn't know how far I should go. And it's really boring to start from the bottom and go to the top. It's like, oh, kill me now. It's so boring. So all in all, I figured out how to cast on exactly here where you split to do the top. Split for the sleeves and do the top part. The first time I did it with a provisional cast on using Judy's magic cast on to create 2 lines, putting one of the stitches on hold and just knitting from one of them, so to say. This time around, I have learned how to do the Turkish cast on, which is a lot more easier than the Judy's Magic cast on. So I did that. I didn't put straight away the second line of stitches on hold. I actually knitted a couple of rows down just to see that it went well, and so I could have a little bit more structure in the on hold stitches, if that made sense. So what I did was I just knitted a couple of rows, and then I just carried the yarn over to the top part of the stitches, and I started knitting upwards. And straight away from there, so that's basically this part. So I have cast on all around the chest area, knit a couple of rows, as you can see. The first time I did the split inside within 2 knit stitch rows. This time I did it with 2 purl rows. So basically there's 2 purl rows. They both go from 2 sides, and it's seamless. The first time around with the knit, you can see that one row is a little bit taller than the other, but with the purl row, it's seamless, and I'm so happy with that effect. So after that, so not only have I put one set of stitches on hold, I've also now put the back stitches on hold, and I'm working the front, as you can see. So basically we're here. It's a drop shoulder construction with a very long drop shoulder. This is not a drop shoulder basically, but with a long drop shoulder, so you actually you cast on stitches also straight away for the sleeve like that. So I'm basically here, almost ready to start splitting for the neck and going upwards. Then you take the stitches from the back and do the back, and then you Kitchener stitch the shoulders, and after that you do the rest. So far so good. If you know me, you know that I love knitting, hate purling. So when I need to purl, I mirror knit. Now that has worked out fine so far as well. I did it on the first time around, and I'm doing it now. However, while at Stephen and Penelope, I started discussing with a Portuguese lady about Portuguese knitting, and and they showed me how that works, and I finally got the point of why you would Portuguese knit, and that is when you purl. So the ones that you don't know what that is, basically you have the tension of the strand around your neck to get the strand of yarn from the front instead of the back, which is normal, and then you hold the tension like so with both hands. And the point is that when you feed your yarn from the front and purling, it's a lot easier, because when you purl, you should have the yarn from the front. So this has also taught me a new method. So not only do I have a new philosophy, which is just knit whatever makes you happy, I also have learned a new method of knitting this week. Really enjoy it, and since you knit or like you purl a whole row, it's not that you like rib, you knit and purl, and there I would still use continental style knitting. But since I have a whole row, and with this pattern is sometimes it's 1 row, sometimes it's 2 rows purling, and so on knitting, I do tend to do the Portuguese knitting now, and I like it. So there you go. So far so good. I really enjoy the Highland wool. It's sport weight, so it's not as thick as DK, of course. It doesn't give you like a thick sweater, and it's not fingering, so you don't have to be here the whole year. It's a sport weight. I do understand why Andrea Mauri is a sport weight fan, a sports fan. I understand. Although it's really, really difficult to buy sports weight. No one has sports weight. Ooh, the sun is coming out. Nice. But there you go. fun structural pattern, which I really enjoy. Gives me some things to think about and keeps me motivated to work. That's that. Since I bought a lot of yarn, I'm going to show you what I bought. Since I finished a couple of pieces, this stash this month, of course, is not as good as the January and February. I knew that was going to happen. I actually didn't buy anything the first 2 months because I knew I was going to buy a lot of yarn in March. This is all according to plan. It's all good. Okay? Am I trying to convince myself or you? I'm not sure. Anyway, the total for March is positive 1,052 grams, which makes the yarn stash at the moment 12,876 grams. However, so far this year, so end of Q1, we are looking at minus 2,467 grams. I'm still very happy about that. I am well ahead on my 10,000 gram goal and journey. Okay, let's look at some yarn and talk about plans for April. Oh goodness. Okay, April and specifically probably in the beginning, Easter. So you've seen two of my acquisitions. That was the Highland wool and the Iseger yarn. While at Stephen and Penelope, you of course need to buy some Stephen and Penelope yarn or West wool yarn. So I did that as well. I didn't have so many plans going in other than let's buy a show yarn. I am not a person that buys yarn for a sweater that will cost me 150 euros. That's just not what I want to do. More than that's not my budget. Of course, it's not my budget, but it's not something I want to do. I'm not a cheap person, but I'm a frugal person. It's not something that makes me happy. I also tend to, like, this is clothes. I have a potential to destroy them in the wash. So I don't want to knit for 150 euros and then just like completely die if something happens with it. So going in that mindset that I'm not going to buy a sweater for 150 euros, I'm going to buy one skein of show yarn because I like to do that when I'm here and I like to find a good project for it. So I decided I was going to go in and buy 100 grams of yarn and basically make a muscle burrow hat. Socks is something that people will tend to make out of show yarn. It's not something I would actually do. Would I like to wear 30 euros worth of socks? No, because they will be destroyed. And although a pair of socks is something I wear a lot, a hat is something maybe more that you can show off, or you can enjoy, or you can treasure. So a hat it is. I haven't knitted the muscle burrow hat yet, like the pattern as well. So that's definitely going to be like 2026. I will make a muscle burrow hat in probably this yarn. So I got a lot of help from the ladies at the shop. And I ended up with not 100 grams, but 150 grams. So there you go. That's how, this is the plan. This is West wool yarn, tricycle, 100% superwash merino. This is really soft, really squishy, and it's meant for the rim. So closest to your face, closest to your ears, and basically in the middle of the hat. If you don't know what muscle burrow is, you cast on, you increase, you make a tube, you decrease, and then you pull the tube in itself, and it's a double knitted hat. You can have it like that, double knitted and have a slouch, or you can make it longer and like make it 4 double of a rim. So double, you understand what I mean. The second option is what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna do a like a folded hem there, rim. So that's the middle, and this is Malabrigo yarn. I've heard a lot of things, good things about Malabrigo. So this is also why I chose this. This is a sock yarn. Also fingering weight, let me see. So it's 100% superwash merino wool, but it's their sock base, so it's a little bit sturdier, I think, but it's really, really soft. And it's not something like I need nylon, but this is then for the top of the hat, like the inside and top. And yeah, look at the gorgeous speckles. So together with that purple, it's gonna pick up all the purple speckles, hopefully, but there's some pinks and there's some oranges and this beige, a brown beige base. I'm so excited to start this project. So now I've showed you the skeins. I'm gonna make a cake out of it and probably take it with me for my Easter vacation and make the hat. Great. Then I went to another yarn store, and I'm sorry, I don't know what it's called. It's just close to Stephen and Penelope, where I bought the Isager yarn and this yarn. Semilla BC Garn Semilia. I've seen this in other online stores before, and I always thought it looked really nice. It is a sport weight yarn as well. 50 gram gives you 160 meters. 100% wool in a basic gray. Now, I have not knitted anything, I think, in gray before. I always tend to knit with purples and pinks mostly, and some greens. This time I thought, well, I did try to buy a purple yarn first, but they didn't have enough of it to do this garment that I'm planning to do. So I was like, you know what, I'll do the gray. It's gonna be another pattern from Andrea Maury. This lovely, basic, like, almost like woodsy sweater. Yeah, in gray. And I think that's gonna be really like a basics, really fun, standard sweater that I will have in my wardrobe. So that's gonna be later in the year. Probably it's gonna be a September cast on, potentially, because right now I have done enough sweaters, I think, for this summer. And finally, from Stephen and Penelope, I picked up 2 Sauber balls because it was a sale on Sauber balls. So I did that. What is this is color 2620 and 2514. Geheimrat and Rot im Anzug. They're my German pronunciation. There you go. With these 2, they're perfect for socks, so I will make socks. I will try to make a little bit of a structured sock or a little bit of fun sock. There is a slight color changing yarn, as you can see, but not big enough that I think it needs to be a vanilla sock. I'm gonna try something different. I've heard good things about Sauber balls. I've never bought one, so I bought 2. Haha. That's it. That's all I bought this month. Oh goodness. I will go to Scotland during Easter for a family vacation. I will bring a lot of knitting, I think. I will definitely start on my hat. I will bring all my t-shirts with me to finish them. And let's see if I find some yarn stores in England or in Scotland. That would be fun. Although we're not really venturing into any cities, we're having a house on the countryside in Scotland. Isn't that lovely? All right, I have yammered enough, I think, for one go. I'm sorry it took me so long to come back to podcasting. We'll see if it's gonna be a monthly podcast from now on, or if I'm gonna able to do 2 weeks. We're gonna have to see. Thank you for joining me so far. Thank you guys for giving me a thumbs up. That really is really helpful for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you for all your comments. It's been lovely to chat with you. Please keep it up, and if you're here and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Yay! I wish you all the best and joy in your life and in your knitting, and I'll see you next time. Bye!